Hello, scholars. Welcome to math. Good to be here with you. Good to be here with you. Today, we are going to learn and we are going to practice converting between fractions, decimals, and percents. We're going to convert between all three of these. Last class, you practiced converting between fractions and decimals. Now we're going to throw percents into the mix. Last time we learned we can turn all fractions into decimals by doing top number divided by bottom number. We type that in our calculator, top number divided by bottom number, we'll get a decimal. We also learned that we can turn all decimals into fractions by first looking at what place value the number ends in. This number ends in the 100th place. So our bottom number in our fraction will be 100. And to find our new numerator, we just copy all of the same digits that we see. 7, 5. Boom. Fractions into decimals, decimals into fractions. Now we're going to practice finding the percents too. Let's read through this lesson page in Canvas. And actually, let's rewind and show where to find this lesson page in Canvas. So here we are on today's homework. Nice, November 11th. That is definitely today. And this is today's homework. If I go right above it, I see a lesson page. Oh, and it has the name of today's lesson, Converting Between Fractions, Decimals, and Percents. If we click here, we'll find the lesson page that has all of these super helpful vocab words. We're not going to go over these right now. What we are going to go over is the Exploring the Math section that has the pictures and sometimes has videos. Let's zoom in and let's get reading. In today's lesson, we will be exploring how fractions, decimals, and percents are related. We will look at how to convert fractions and decimals into percents, as well as converting percents into decimals and fractions. Fractions, decimals, and percentages are all ways to represent parts of a whole. They are like different languages that all tell the same story. Being able to convert between these forms is a valuable skill in math and everyday life. Whether you're shopping for a sale, measuring ingredients for a recipe, or analyzing data, understanding these concepts is crucial. All right, relationships between fractions, decimals, and percentages. Fractions represent parts of a whole. The top number, the numerator, tells us how many parts we have, and the bottom number, the denominator, tells us how many equal parts of the whole is divided into. For example, the fraction 3/4, we have 3 out of 4 parts. Like if you had a pizza that was cut into 4 pieces and you ate 3 of those pieces, you ate 3/4 of that pizza. You have 3 of the 4 pieces in your tummy. Decimals. Another way to show parts of a whole, especially when those parts are smaller than a single whole unit, is a decimal. For example, 0.75 is the decimal representation of 3/4. Percentages. Percentages represent parts of a whole where the whole number is divided into 100 equal parts. The word percent literally means out of 100. Per cent. Out of 100. For example, 75% is the percentage representation of 3/4 and 0.75. You just have 75 out of 100. That's what 75% is. Let's scroll down. Now let's talk about how to convert between these. We can convert a fraction to a decimal Then we can convert the decimal to a percent. Decimals are easy to convert to percentages. Or another way to say this is they are simple to convert to percentages. When you're given a fraction and you want to turn that fraction into a percent, convert the fraction into a decimal by dividing the numerator by the denominator, then convert the decimal to a percent. Multiply the decimal by 100, or move the decimal 2 places to the right, and don't forget to add the percent symbol at the end. So if you have a fraction, you turn the fraction into a decimal, then you multiply the decimal by 100, bada bing, bada boom, you got a percent. When you're given a decimal and you want to make a percent, convert the decimal to a percent by just multiplying it by 100, just like we did for this up here, just like we talked about. When you're given a percentage and you want to convert that percent into a decimal, divide the decimal by 100. Whoa, so kind of like the opposite. When you have a decimal and you want a percent, you multiply by 100. When you have a percent and you want a decimal, you divide by 100. If you have a percent and you want to convert the decimal to a fraction, find the place where the last number is and write that number with no decimal over it in the denominator, 10, 100, or 1,000 based on the last place value. Let's practice these. So, example 1. Convert 0.87 to a percent. Okay, well, just like we read, to convert a decimal into a percent, we multiply the decimal by 100. So we have the decimal 0.87. We times that by 100. We go to our handy dandy calculator and it would tell us the answer 87. And don't forget to add the percent sign. 87%. Just like this picture says, or move the decimal point 2 spaces to the right. Example 2. Convert the fraction 26/5 to a decimal and a percent. Oh, so let's turn this fraction into a decimal and a percent. Well, we know we can turn all fractions into decimals by doing top number divided by bottom number, or 26 divided by 5. And when we type this into our handy dandy calculator, it will tell us an answer of 5.2. So that's our decimal. Bloop. Now let's turn this decimal into a percent. Just like we did for example 1, we can turn this decimal into a percent by multiplying it by what? Multiplying it by what? I say what? Multiplying it by 100. Woo! And thank you, handy dandy calculator. When we type this in our calculator, it will give us an answer of 520%. We got our decimal, we got our percent. We are done. We are done. Example 3. Example 3. Convert the percent to a decimal and then a fraction. So, to turn a decimal into a percent, you multiply by 100. But to turn a percent into a decimal, we'll do the opposite. We will divide by 100. What is 257 divided by 100? I can't hear you. What's 257 divided by 100? Yeah. Nice. That was so loud in your brains. I could totally hear you thinking 2.57. Absolutely. Here's the decimal. Now, let's turn this number, this decimal, into a fraction. 2.57. To turn a decimal into a fraction, we need to look at where the number ends. What place value does the number end in? Not the ones place, not the tenths place. It ends in the 100ths place. So our new denominator will be 100, ends in the hundredths place, and our numerator will be all of the same digits we had before, just without the decimal point. Our fraction. Sweet. You can also turn all percents into a fraction by putting it on top of 100. So, okay. I guess unless, of course, actually, never mind. Unless there's decimal, like 5.2%. You can't have 5.2 on top of 100. So, never mind what I said. But yeah, this way works every time. There are some faster ways, but this way works every time. So, in conclusion, fractions, decimals, percentages are interconnected. They each offer a unique way to represent parts of a whole. By mastering the art of converting between them, you'll be way better equipped to tackle a wide range of mathematical and real-world challenges. Different situations call for different forms. Like when shopping, percentages might show discounts. Baking, you got fractions to measure ingredients. Finance, use decimals for interest rates. By understanding how to convert between fractions, decimals, and percentages, you can choose the best form for the task at hand. You can choose what is easiest for you. If you don't know how to convert between these, then you're stuck with whatever the question's giving you. But if you do know how to convert numbers to different forms, you are the master of your own fate. Yes, you. Okay, that's it for our lesson. For your activity, you will be playing a GimKit. Woo! Where you practice this. Good luck. See you next time.